Hello, dear friend. I am so glad our paths have crossed today. We are going to talk about something very special. It is a secret language that the universe uses to create everything you see. This language is not made of words. It is made of shapes and patterns. We call this sacred geometry. It is the idea that a divine plan, a blueprint, exists for all of creation. This blueprint is made of simple geometric forms. These forms are the foundation for everything. The smallest atom, the largest galaxy. They are the patterns that give rise to life itself. And they are inside you, right now. The core idea is very simple, yet very profound. It is the idea of pattern before matter. Think about it like this. Before a house is built, there must be a blueprint. The architect draws the plan first. Then the builders use that plan to construct the house. The universe works in the same way. The patterns of sacred geometry are the blueprint. Let us begin our journey at the very beginning. Before anything existed, there was only the great void. Imagine a vast, empty space of pure consciousness, with no thing in it. It is pure, undifferentiated spirit. This spirit is everywhere and nowhere. It has no size, no shape, no dimension. It simply is. This is the state of unity before creation begins. In this state of oneness, spirit has no way to experience itself. To know itself, it must create something to observe. It must move. This is the first great act of consciousness. From this infinite void, spirit decides to project a point of consciousness. Imagine spirit focusing its awareness into a single, tiny location. This is the first dimension, the point. A point has no size, no width, and no height. It is simply a position in space. It is the beginning of all geometry. Once spirit has created the first point, it has a reference. It knows where it is. But to truly experience something, it needs to move. It needs to create a relationship. So, from that first point, spirit projects itself outward to a second point. When you connect these 2 points, you create the second fundamental form in sacred geometry, the line. The line represents the second dimension. It has length, but no width or height. It is the first movement, the first journey. It is the path between 2 points of awareness. The creation of the line is incredibly important because it gives birth to the concept of duality. Before the line, there was only unity, the single point. Now, with 2 points, we have a relationship. We have here. We have there. We have beginning. We have end. We have inside. We have outside. This is the birth of polarity, the foundation of our physical world. Think of all the pairs of opposites you know. Light, dark, male, female, hot, cold, up, down. Now we come to a truly magical step. After creating the first point and moving to create a second, what does spirit do next? It repeats the process. From the second point, it creates another sphere of consciousness, exactly the same size as the first. These 2 spheres overlap. The shape created by the intersection of these 2 circles is called the vesica piscis. The name means vessel of the fish in Latin. This almond-shaped form is one of the most profound and important symbols in all of sacred geometry. It is the womb of creation, the gateway through which light and form are born. Within the vesica piscis, an incredible amount of information is contained. It is the geometric basis for light itself. The geometry of the human eye is based on the vesica piscis, which is how we perceive light. It is the source of all the square roots and mathematical constants that describe our physical reality. It is the doorway between the spiritual world and the material world. When the 2 circles of spirit overlap, they create a shared space, a third reality born from the union of the first 2. This is the principle of creation through relationship and union. When a cell divides to create new life, it passes through the stage of the vesica piscis. It is the shape formed by your eyelids. In Christian art, it is often used as a halo, called a mandorla, surrounding figures like Jesus. Section 5. The Flower of Life. the pattern of all things. From the vesica piscis, the process of creation continues in a beautiful, spiraling dance. After creating the second sphere, Spirit continues to place new spheres on the intersection points of the previous ones. This process, repeated just a few times, generates a pattern known as the seed of life, which is made of 7 circles. If you continue this process of rotation and creation, you eventually form a much more complex and stunning pattern, the flower of life. This ancient symbol is composed of 19 overlapping circles, all perfectly interconnected, held within a larger circle. The flower of life is considered to be the primary pattern of creation. It is a visual expression of the connections that life weaves through all sentient beings. It is believed to contain all the patterns of creation, all the laws of physics, all the biological life forms, and every musical harmony. Within its proportions, it holds the blueprint for every atom, every cell, and every star. It is a perfect, holographic template of reality. Section 6. The Fruit of Life and Metatron's Cube. The building blocks. Hidden within the elegant curves of the flower of life is another, even more fundamental pattern. If you take the centers of each of the 19 circles in the flower of life and connect them with straight lines, a new symbol emerges. This symbol is called the fruit of life. It is composed of 13 circles, representing 13 informational systems that are fundamental to our reality. This pattern is the fruit because it is the result, the outcome, of the geometric dance that created the flower of life. It is the blueprint for the very fabric of space-time. From the fruit of life, we can derive the most important informational system in the universe, Metatron's cube. To create it, you simply draw straight lines connecting the center of every circle in the fruit of life to the center of every other circle. The resulting figure is a complex and beautiful web of lines and circles. Metatron's cube is named after the archangel Metatron, who in ancient traditions was said to be the scribe of God, overseeing the flow of energy in creation. This cube is the key that unlocks the building blocks of the physical world. It contains within it all 5 of the platonic solids. It contains within it all 5 of the platonic solids. It contains within it all 5 of the platonic solids. It contains within it all 5 of the platonic solids. It contains within it all 5 of the platonic solids. These are the fundamental geometric shapes that are the building blocks of all matter. Section 7. The platonic solids, the elements of reality. Contained within the lines of Metatron's cube are 5 special, 3-dimensional shapes known as the platonic solids. These shapes are unique because for each one, every face is the same size, every edge is the same length, and every internal angle is the same. There are only 5 shapes in the entire universe that have these properties. They are the tetrahedron, 4 triangular faces the cube or hexahedron, 6 square faces the octahedron, 8 triangular faces the dodecahedron, 12 pentagonal faces and the icosahedron, 20 triangular faces. These are the building blocks of our physical world. The ancient Greeks, especially the philosopher Plato, understood the profound importance of these shapes. They assigned each one to a classical element. The tetrahedron, with its sharp points, was associated with the element of fire. The stable and solid cube was associated with the earth. The octahedron, which can spin freely when held by its points, was associated with air. The icosahedron, the most complex and fluid-looking shape, was associated with water. And the dodecahedron, the shape closest to a sphere, was associated with the heavens, or ether, the spirit that contains all the other elements. Beyond the static building blocks of the platonic solids, there are dynamic patterns that describe how life grows and energy flows. One of the most famous is the golden ratio, phi. It's a mathematical relationship about 1.618 to 1. Divide a line into 2 parts. The ratio of the whole to the longer equals the longer to the shorter. Considered incredibly beautiful and harmonious, the pattern of growth and unfolding. You can see it everywhere in nature. Nautilus shell spiral, sunflower seed spirals, bones in your fingers, distance from navel to feet. Ancient architects used it. The Parthenon, the Great Pyramid in Egypt. It is the signature of life's creative process. Another key pattern is the torus. A torus, a donut-shaped energy field. Energy flows out from the center, up and around the outside, and back in through the center. Fundamental form of balanced energy flow. For thousands of years, this knowledge of sacred geometry was the domain of priests, mystics, and master builders. The Egyptians used it to design their pyramids as powerful energy machines. Leonardo da Vinci, a master of art and science, encoded these patterns in his work, like the famous Vitruvian Man. The builders of the great Gothic cathedrals in Europe used sacred geometry to create spaces that would elevate human consciousness and connect people to the divine. In India, mandalas and yantras are complex geometric diagrams used as tools for meditation and spiritual transformation. This was a universal science of spirit. Now, in our modern age, science is beginning to catch up with this ancient wisdom. Physicists talk about fields before particles, which is the same idea as pattern before matter. They are discovering that at the quantum level, reality is not made of solid things, but of vibrating fields of potential, which then collapse into particles. We have traveled from the simplicity of a single point to the complex dance of the torus and the golden ratio. We have seen how a few simple, repeating patterns can build an entire universe, from the stars above to the DNA within your own cells. This is the great truth of sacred geometry. Reality has a hidden order, a divine blueprint. This pattern is not something outside of you. It is the very essence of who you are. The geometry of the cosmos is mirrored in the geometry of your own consciousness. This knowledge is more than just interesting information. It is a key to a new way of living. When you understand that you are part of this perfect, interconnected pattern, it can bring a deep sense of peace, purpose, and belonging. You are not a random accident in a meaningless universe. You are a unique and essential part of a grand cosmic design. Every thought you think and every action you take sends ripples through this geometric web of creation. You are a co-creator with the universe. The world is a mirror. A short reading list. 1. The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life, Volume 1. Volume 2 by Drunvalo Melchizedek. This is my own work, where I go into much greater detail about this entire story of creation. 2. A Beginner's Guide to Constructing the Universe by Michael S. Schneider. This is a wonderful, accessible book that explores the mathematical and geometric principles in nature, in art, in science, in a very hands-on way. It's really that simple and profound.